It's Hot 97, number one for hip hop. It's TT Torres, and one of my favorite people is in the building today, DJ Drama.
I'm here. TT, you one of mine. One of mine. So right back at you.
First of all, let me just start this interview off saying how proud I am of your success and your continuous evolution as a businesman and as an artist.
Thank you.
I've seen your growth for many, many years. Like, you know, not to age ourselves, but we've been in the game. We like young OGs. We've been in the game for a minute.
Yeah.
And I've seen like everything you went through from just Gangsta Grillz booming, then, you know, having a setback, coming back, and then constantly reinventing yourself and staying on top. Has that been exhausting for you from time to time?
Nah, actually just the opposite. I say it's kept me forever 21 like the store. You know, I think that being able to reinvent, you know, keeping myself like fresh and just energized is like it's been vitalizing. You know what I'm saying? It gives me a lot of like oomph in a way. So, you know, like this culture, I really feel like it can, if you allow it to, it can keep you young forever, you know? And I mean, I've been in the game for a minute, you know what I'm saying? So I make sure I drink my water and I take my vitamins and, you know, try to eat clean, get my rest. But beyond that, like, yo, I love hip hop. I love the culture. Like I'm so blessed to do what I love to do and to get this opportunity that like, I don't have time to get exhausted. Like, not at all.
I can tell that you really have a true love for the culture, man. The level of respect you have for it, it shows in your work ethic. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because I know at times it can feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. But I think you have mastered the art of boredom in your craft. That's a real skill set.
That's deep.
Yeah. Because think about it. When you think about a basketball player like LeBron, he has to work out every day. He has to eat right every day. And I'm sure his workouts are the same thing sometimes over and over again.
Right.
So there is a time where you feel like, yo, I am so bored with doing the same thing over and over. But then this becomes a skill set when you have to master the art of boredom to take you to the next level of success.
No, absolutely. And a lot of it is in discipline too. And it's just about like, you know, staying consistent and staying creative. Like you just gave me a thought. Like I think about it in the process of like, you know, for those who really understand and respect my craft, like what I do on mixtapes. And like, you know, I try to tell people all the time, like, you know, just there's everyone has opinions and banters. Like, what is me or anybody like do on a mixtape, or why do we want you screaming all over your mixtape? Listen, I would not have a mixtape with all of your favorite artists if I wasn't doing something that meant something to them, the people, and the culture. But even with that, like, you know, to stay like, when I go on these records after all these years and still try to like find creative things to say and, you know, still make it an ability for people to be like, yo, that was fire what Drum said or did or impactful. Like, you know, it's just a ode to how you put it in perspective. And like, you know, there's you have to train yourself, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's like certain regiment, get up, go to the studio, go to the gym, like, you know, have to work at the club, be on the road. But, you know, the minute you take it for granted is the moment they take it away from you. Or like, you know, the moment you really don't appreciate it, it's like, you know, everybody doesn't get these chances, especially as a DJ.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm not even a rapper. I'm just a DJ.
And here's the thing that I want to touch on, because the DJ part is very important. Because it's not just about you talking on the album or, you know, any of that. It's the authenticity that you bring and your stamp of approval because you are someone that's respected in the culture.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what people got, you know, some people don't maybe not register, oh, whoa, he's just a DJ, he's just talking. No, he actually you certify something.
For sure.
Because you
I'm a medium.
Right. And because you've had success and the artists that you've co-signed and the artists that you've built, from Jack Harlow to Lil Uzi Vert and all of this, your opinion matters.
For sure. It does. And, you know, I've created a platform that for a lot of artists is like, it's somewhat of like a bucket list for them. Like, I love hearing even new or younger artists say like, I always wanted a Gangsta Grillz. Like just recently, NBA YoungBoy did an interview and they asked them like, why Drum? Why'd you get Drum to host your mixtape? And it was, for him, he was like, I grew up on Drum. You know what I'm saying? So, it means a lot to me. Like and that's probably why I named this album I'm Really Like That. Like, just the ode to like what I know that I mean.
That shit.
What I mean to
really
the culture.
Like that, He's really done some awesome things. But also, I think you do a great job at teaching people or making them more aware, especially the new generation, of what you have done. It's the one thing I could say I really love about Wu-Tang that they do very, very well, is that they are constantly telling people their story and why they mean so much to the culture. So like that 19-year-old Gen Z kid who just knows TikTok world, they're like, oh, wow. Like it's always a new, even though it's an old story that we kind of know and seen, but they're constantly showing people, no, this is what we've done. This is why we're so big. We've changed the culture. We're the first group to have like 9 members. That will never happen again.
Nah, it's legendary.
No. I mean, A$AP Mob tried it. A lot of people tried it, but
the Clan was the Clan.
To get 9 artists together at one time and put out that could never happen again.
Nah.
And not for nothing, even when you look at like what Puff, there will never be another Diddy.
Facts.
And that's why he has to keep telling his stories and telling his stories. And like I love what Mary J. Blige is doing too in her space, because she keeps telling her stories and telling her stories why people connect and reintroducing herself, but also doing it in her way. And that's what I love about you, is like you keep telling the story of why Gangsta Grillz is important.
And I get a dope opportunity to do that, or just like be introduced to new audiences. Like the project with Tyler, like, is a great example.
And
like,
that was so hip hop.
It was so hip hop, and it was so genius of him to do. And then, like, Tyler has an audience that wasn't familiar, like, with what I did, or why is this guy, screaming in the background of Tyler's music. So, I would go to his shows and like hear my voice, or just like, see the type of reaction. And it brought such a nostalgic feel back, and it's like, I get that, because of, again, my position. Like, there's people that just know me as the guy who signed Jack Harlow, that don't even like know the history of Gangsta Grillz, and obviously, again, to get the opportunity to continue to tell the story, like, it's important, and it's, I got a lot of legacy behind me, and like, again, that's why it's like, being in this spot right now, and being like on another gear, like really turning it up a notch. It's like, to have this much legacy and to have doing it as long as I've done it, and to be where I'm at, like, yo, it's go time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And you know what else too? Like, the thing that I think a lot of people have to understand, like, there was a period in the culture where like you had to be connected to a DJ, because the DJ was the voice of the community. For
sure.
The DJ, if you got on a drama Gangsta Grillz tape,
it was
like, you was the stamp of approval. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Even God bless the dead K Slay. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
People like
Rest in peace,
K Slay. Yeah, that's why like it's important to keep telling K Slay's story and why he was such a iconic figure in New York, because there wouldn't have been a 50 Cent. There wouldn't have been a Jim Jones. There wouldn't have been like all of these people if he didn't create the platform for them to have that voice.
No, that's real.
And you think about Desert Storm and like what they did.
I mean, I always say like mixtapes are really like the veins of hip hop. Like, when it comes to, if you think about most artists, or, regardless, whether it's a Puff or a Hove, like a 50, like everybody has some type of relationships with mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? From breaking artists on mixtapes, from, Fifth changing the mixtape game, from even like Puff, like having a style of like hip hop beats with R&B over it. That was like Ron G. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a Harlem style that came from mixtapes. So, mixtapes are the veins of hip hop, and have been for a long time. And the DJ, our role is so important and so vital. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm just happy to be in a space where I'm inspiring a generation. Like I got inspired by a generation like the K Slays and the ones that came before me.
Yeah, absolutely. And is it hard for you to navigate between being the artist and also being an executive? Because I've seen how you've built that empire. And it's a great thing that you never put all your eggs in one basket.
I'm a man of many hats, no pun intended.
But that's important, right?
Absolutely.
Because I always tell people as the music industry changes and evolves, you have to move with that technology
1,000%.
or you're going to be stuck.
1,000%. And I saw how things were changing. I remember at a period in my career where I saw like, my mixtape schedule or calendar was diminishing. You know what I'm saying? It was every month or two where I was doing less and less mixtapes, and I jumped into my A&R bag, and then I went to Atlantic, and me and Lake and Cannon started Generation Now, and we signed Uzi, and so it is about like paying attention to what's going on within the culture, staying ahead of the curve, and being in a position where you can navigate through. And again, like being, once I was able to create my brand, I wanted to, put my eggs in a lot of baskets and do a lot of things, And for me, it's not hard to juggle it all because, one, I have a great team. I have a great support system. We all play our roles. We all know our roles. And, like when it's time to be in DJ drama artist mode, like I could do that. When it's time to, lend a helping hand or be in a position to, be there for my artists, or we're signing new artists, I can do that. I can play the back,
so that's a skill set. A lot of people always ask, how do I be executive in a talent on the radio? It's a skill set.
Absolutely.
You have to know when to be the star.
Yep.
You have to know when to build the star.
Yep.
And then you have to know when to fall back and execute the plan. That's a lot of juggling.
And I love to do it. I love to juggle.
Yeah.
Should have been a juggler.
It keeps you on your swivel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you could be an actor because that classic Juice, that video that was directed by Jim Jones, that was amazing.
Thank you. That was incredible.
I wrote under your page, I'm like, this is genius. Who came up with that?
Me and my team actually came up with it when we were, discussing like my album rollout. My Generation Now A&R staff, mentioned like, because a lot of when I do interviews, I talk about how inspiring Juice was. That was the reason why I became a DJ. And they were like, we should like do something with Juice, like somewhat of a video. And then the idea like popped into my head, and I just took it to the next level. And I was like, yo, what if I could really get Omar Epps like to like be in it? And then I was like, damn, what if I could really get Raheem and Steele? And I was like, what if I could really get Queen Latifah? And me and Latifah actually performed together at the Grammys for the 50th hip hop celebration, and during rehearsal, she had already been aware of the idea, and then I ran it by her again, and she was like, yeah, I'm down. When we shot 2 days later, and like for me, that was like, it was like living out my childhood dreams, like to reenact the movie. Like, no, thank you.
That acting was top tier. I was like, let me find out Drama about to get in his acting bag.
Yeah, so I'm Will Packer, Kenya Barris, Tyler Perry, holla at me.
Holla. You in Atlanta, they say that's the Black Hollywood out there.
It definitely is.
It could happen.
Yeah.
So the album, you didn't pre-release a track list for the album. Was that done intentionally?
I wanted to keep some like excitement. I wanted to, I wanted to give somewhat of a shock value, and let people like digest it and get familiar when the album dropped. How it is, TT. Like the world moves fast these days, so you don't want to give them too much too early. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely held on to the track list, but I made sure people were aware of the features, and wanted to create some anticipation and some excitement around it.
Yeah. What would you have told the younger DJ Drama now that you're in this position right now?
Man, what would I have told him? Like, well, one, I would have told him please don't throw out your box of flyers, and make sure you don't lose your storage unit with all your old photo albums and classic records. Probably two of the biggest mistakes in my career, that I allowed that to happen because it was so much memorabilia.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I would have just told him, bro, it's gonna be a hell of a journey. You not gonna, if I would have told myself then if I could have been in Back to the Future and went back and told that kid like, yo, one day you're gonna be standing side by side with Funk Flex. Y'all gonna be on Hot 97, talking crazy on the radio, playing your records. You're gonna win a Grammy. You're gonna recreate Juice. You're gonna have one of the dopest record labels in the game. You're gonna have the most important mixtape series of all time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed them. I'd have been like, get out of here, old guy.
But it has to be something, though, to seeing all of your success pay off at this level in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, it does, It's really a blessing to do what I love and to think, the things that I accomplished and how far I've come. And, not only that, but to also to be able to do it with people that I love, that I like went to college with, and, have genuine friends, to watch other people be successful, even like with my studio in Atlanta, Mean Street Studios, like the people that have come through that building, like that started out as interns that now work in the music business, that tell stories about, how they first started and, working with me or under me in a situation, like a lot, that's a real blessing. And just, really knowing that, when it's all said and done, I'm going to go down as one of the greatest to ever do it.
I was going to ask you, you're sowing seeds and leaving a legacy. And ultimately, what do you want that legacy to be?
Yeah, I mean, just that. Like, when the story's all said and done and told, like, Drum really put on for hip-hop. Like, Drum really represented the culture, like, from all gamuts, from this side to this side, from, the quality street music to, the backpacker hip hop. Like, I really, when I look at my career and I put it in perspective, like, yo, when I say I'm really like that, like what I've given to this culture, what I've done over the years, what I mean to hip hop, like it can't be tested. You know what I'm saying? I'm really one-on-one.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to keep telling that story and keep reminding people.
Documentaries on the way.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. Like, I can already see it. Like, the amount of tapes and like just artists, I'm like, yo, this is like a really big thing you could do here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. And then, at the same time, like all the accolades and success is dope, but I'm the type that like, okay, that was yesterday. Like, what I'm gonna do tomorrow?
What you gonna do
like,
today?
Damn,
Keep going,
like,
right?
yeah, how I'm gonna top that? Like, what I'm gonna do next?
I was gonna ask you, like, do you ever just take a moment to soak it all in, or are you always like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing?
A little bit of both. I do have those moments. For some reason, definitely when I'm on airplanes, like, I don't know, I think it's something about the sky that just gets into your emotions. I don't know what it is, but I definitely, when I'm above the clouds, like I take that moment and I think about, and I'm thankful for what I've accomplished. But once I land, it's all right. Let's get to work and let's continue to do it. Because when you're making history and when you're involved in it, you don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're working and you're doing what you love out of a passion, and then you look back on like, wow, I really did some dope shit.
Now, this is a tough question, but I'm sure you've gotten this before. Who was your favorite Gangsta Grillz artist?
Oh, so hard.
So hard.
Yeah, favorite, top 5.
Top tier.
When
you
tough.
go back and you like, yo, the bars, the way they put that together, the sound of it, the production of it.
I mean, obviously the conversations or the verses of Gangsta Grillz that are like the most classic is always it's a Jeezy versus Wayne combo. It's like it's Trap or Die versus Dedication 2. Yeah. But as of recently, like I gotta show a lot of love to my brother Tyler, the Creator. Like he got me a shiny trophy at home that sits in a glass case. That goes by the name of Grammy that I'm quite proud of. So I definitely what Tyler has done recently for the brand is super amazing, and I'm very appreciative of it.
God gives you those moments, right? When you think like, God, I'm putting in this work, I'm putting in this work, I'm putting in this work. And then all of a sudden he sprinkles a little sauce on top of that to just take it to a new level. Because who would have thought, that little sprinkle would have, okay, here's another notch for you.
I mean, gotta keep going. You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
So when you got that Grammy and you went home, how did your family feel? How did the kids feel? Did they understand like Dad won a Grammy?
Yeah, everybody was super excited. It was when I actually found out I won the Grammy. It's ironic because it was probably around this time. What, last year? Yeah, last year, because I was performing at Dreamville Festival, and I was doing a Gangsta Grillz set with Tip, Jeezy, and Wayne. Excuse me. And as soon as I got to Dreamville, I sat down and did an interview, and my man Wayne and Rob Markman, and we're like, just announced Tyler, the Creator, DJ Drama, Album of the Year, the Grammy goes to. And it was a real full circle moment for me because, here I am about to perform in front of 75,000 with three guys that, I literally started my career with. And I find out I win a Grammy for a mixtape series that I started 22 years ago. Wow. Like it was. Did
you tear up?
I did. And then me and Tyler got on the phone and we chopped it up. And when I got the Grammy, I was actually on tour. I was on the road this summer with Wiz, and I took it on stage and I took some shots out of it, so that was fun too.
Yeah. And then it's great because now your kids get to see how and why Dad works so hard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely appreciate it now. Obviously, there were a couple birthdays missed and things like that. Some sacrifices that you make when you're in this business as a parent, but it pays off. When they get to go to the SZA concerts and when they get to get the Sweet 16s and have
that FaceTime
the Summer
video,
Walker and the Chris Brown and the Lotto saying happy birthday, it pays off.
Yeah. Well, listen, I really do appreciate not just you coming here today, but just your relationship over the years.
For sure.
And
we've been down for a long time, TT.
Yeah. And it's never really been industry. We dial in direct.
Good fam.
Yeah. And I'm always so proud of how you just keep evolving and growing. And I think that's important.
I appreciate it. And vice versa, right back at you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, it's DJ Drama, the album.
Yeah.
I'm really like that.
TT got that LV. She's really like that.
It's Hot 97.